Hey everyone, it's Emma. Before we get to today's conversation, I have a favor to ask. We're surveying our listeners to help us make CityCast Boise a better, more useful podcast for you. Please go to citycast.fm/survey to take the survey. It's only 5 minutes long. We promise. We actually timed it. That's citycast.fm/survey. As a thank you for helping us out, you'll be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card. Today on CityCast Boise, Friday is National Donut Day, so I'm asking the big maple frosted question. Who has the best donuts in the Treasure Valley? Blake Hunter and Evelyn Avitia are with me to talk fave local spots, hidden gems, and where we never go, even when our sweet tooth is at an 11. It's Wednesday, May 31st. I'm Emma Arnold, and this is what Boise's talking about. Hi, Blake. Hi, Evelyn.
Hey, Emma.
Hello.
Well, we're going to talk about donuts today, but let's just start with, what do you get? What is your go-to donut order? Blake, start us out.
I just like a plain, I kind of like the basics when it comes to a lot of desserts generally, or kind of like sweeter foods. So with a donut, most of the time I'm just like a chocolate bar or chocolate ring or something like that, or like a basic glaze thing. We'll probably get into more of the kind of like the fancy stuff that's just like add-ons on top of add-ons. But that's not usually my vibe. I usually keep it pretty simple.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a huge sweet tooth, and I'm like super excited to be talking about donuts with you two, because that's like one of my rewards. It's one of my treats where I'm like, you know what? I really want a donut, and I will go and buy myself a donut, and it's always going to be anything that has chocolate.
Yeah.
Any chocolate topping, chocolate donut, I'm going for that.
I'm kind of with Evelyn on this. Like, I have yet to meet a donut that I couldn't find something to love about. Like, I'm pretty much, but my top apple fritters are my favorite. I love an apple fritter. And then I love like the old fashioned, like you said, like just kind of simple. I love an old fashioned. And then I love those like buttermilk bars. Have you had those? Yeah,
totally.
Those are great. And then a maple bar.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. I love a maple bar. So, okay, so we've got everybody's orders down. So what's your number one favorite spot in the Treasure Valley to get donuts? Evelyn, what's yours?
This is why I'm excited to talk to both of you, because I love a good donut. However, I never know where to go locally. And so if I'm like, I really, really wanted a donut, I'm going to go to Albertsons and check out their bakery and grab a donut. Don't sleep on those donuts, because they're good, especially like once they're freshly made. And then this one's worse, a gas station. I'll head up a gas station and get a donut. Yeah.
That's where I draw the line.
This is like the coffee chat all over again, where you were like, I like burnt, crappy coffee. And Blake and I were like, oh my gosh.
Actually, Evelyn, I'm kind of there with you, because all of my, like, I grew up in like the Twin Falls area. There's, there's not a lot of bakeries down here. And so I kind of associate, still to this day, when I think of like donuts and the nostalgia of donuts, I think of Winco donuts. Occasionally like a bear claw or apple fritter or something like that, if I'm like on a road trip kind of thing. But typically, yeah, I think that's part of why I like the basics, is because I think of Winco. But
Winco, don't sleep on those donuts. Honestly, I mean, when we did bagels, I was like, oh, you guys, my favorite bagels. Go down bagel. So I'm sorry, but I love their baked goods. My go-to favorite spot is over here in West Boise. Country Donuts. I don't know. It's a 5 mile in Overland. It's owned by a wonderful Egyptian family. They're so sweet and so funny. And I always talk to them whenever I go in. And they have a little market, a little Egyptian market connected to the donut shop, which is great. You can get tons of good stuff there. And they were really safe during COVID. And every time I went to go get donuts, like they had a line in, a line out. They required masking. They were really, really great about being really careful. They would bring the donuts out to the car if you didn't feel comfortable going in. And they got a lot of crap for that and a lot of hate from people. And like almost every time I went in, somebody was in there screaming at them about having to put on a mask to buy donuts. And they were just like, then don't buy donuts. Like,
Yeah.
this is not tyranny, you know? So I tried during COVID, I tried to support them because that donut store has been around since I was a kid, not owned by them, but Country Donuts has been around since I was a kid. And they have phenomenal apple fritters. And if you go early on a weekend morning, they're like fresh. That's my favorite, is like a fresh apple fritter, still hot. They've just dipped it. And plus they're just like locally owned and the nicest people. So Country Donuts is my favorite. What do you think, Blake? You're going to say Albertsons, aren't you?
Yeah, Albertsons, 100%. No. No, I do love Country Donuts too. I actually just recently, like within like the last like 6 months or so, found out about Country Donuts, but they're so good. I'm going to go with just kind of like a Boise Hallmark classic, DK Donuts. I'm just a few blocks away from it, so occasionally I can just like walk over and get a donut, and it feels like just like such a treat, such a delight. And yeah, kind of similarly, they're locally owned. They've been around for a long time. They're a real classic. And actually, they just were mentioned in like this New York Times article. In like I forget what the name of the column is. It's like a love column. And it started with this person writing like one rainy May day in DK Donuts in Boise, Idaho. And it was just so funny to me. But yeah, absolutely love DK.
DK is really, really great. Definitely. Well, let's talk hidden gems. I mean, you know, DK is really well known. What about hidden gems? Evelyn, I feel like you're going to suggest like Fred Meyer here or something.
I know. I mean, when I'm not buying grocery store or gas station donuts, I am grabbing a donut from the Mexican bakeries in the area. My parents are really good about always having bun or Mexican bread in our home. And they know that my go-to order is a sugar-coated donut. And they're so fluffy. So they always make sure to grab one of those. I think they try to do their versions with, you know, their frostings. And they're a lot more sweeter. But I tend to go for a sugar-coated donut. So Esperanza Bakery, La Estrella in downtown Caldwell. Yeah, getting a donut there.
Yeah, nice. Okay. I've tried Esperanza, so good. And sugar on sugar, it's it's really, really good. What about you, Blake? Hidden gems? Something maybe a little off the beaten path?
I unfortunately don't really know of one. I've talked about this before, but I'm just very like we just need more bakeries. We need more baked things in the Treasure Valley. And so this is kind of embarrassing, but yeah, for like hidden gem, I was going to say Winco because I think that they're better than we give them credit for in Albertsons. Yeah. So we don't need to dive more into that though. What's your hidden gem, Emma?
Well, okay. And I would never have picked this as a hidden gem before, but I think with so many people moving here, every person I've talked to that I've like been like, oh, you've got to try blah, blah, blah. They haven't heard of it. So I can't believe I'm saying this is a hidden gem, but Pastry Perfection down in Garden City has, I mean, the best baked goods of anywhere probably in Boise. I mean, Gaston's is for breads and stuff, obviously, but also just it's the tiniest little old ladies. The Lee's Candy of bakeries, we'll say. It's just tiny little old ladies back there, and some of them have been baking since I was a kid. Their cookies, their cakes are also amazing, but all of their donuts are incredible. And when you walk in, it really has that like donut shop feel, you know, where you walk in and it's just like so many donuts you've never seen. It's always hard to just pick a dozen because you're like, what? There's just so many different kinds, and everything there is phenomenal. And like I said, I wouldn't normally say it was a hidden gem, but people I keep telling people about it and they're like shocked. So I guess that's my hidden gem, even though I think it's probably one of the more popular places in Boise.
Hey, CityCast Boise, it's Michael Ziviak. While CityCast Boise works hard every day to connect you with the stories that matter most, I'm working in the background to make sure that our listeners are connecting with the best that Boise has to offer. So what does that look like? It means meeting with the people who make Boise what it is. The business owners, the stakeholders, the decision makers. The Boiseans who put together those food festivals you enjoy, the concerts you attend, the exhibits you can't miss, and who make those candles your mom can't stop talking about. If this sounds like you, let me help you get your message out to the city's best audience with an ad right here on CityCast Boise and on our sister daily newsletter, Hey Boise. Shoot me an email at ads@citycast.fm and let's connect.
I know a lot of people are gluten-free or vegan. Do you know of any gluten-free or vegan options, Blake?
I mean, the top tier for that is definitely Guru downtown. They're obviously very, very popular. They've kind of got like the quintessential downtown Boise spot there in the Idaho. And a lot of their options are they have a lot of gluten-free and vegan options. They're clearly marked. I would say like half of all of their donuts at least are, either vegan and or gluten-free or gluten-friendly. So they're definitely the spot to check out if you're looking for that.
Yeah, and they do seasonal stuff too, which I like specialty and like there's stuff at Guru you can't get anywhere else in town. They have that berry donut that's really, really tasty. They have a couple different things, and they do like fun things like key lime pie filled donut, and they always do like unique kind of interesting stuff. So Guru, definitely a shout out to Guru, which leads me, I was going to say Guru for our next one. Actual cool hangout spot while you're eating your donuts. Pastry Perfection, you're kind of in and out of there, Country Donuts, I will sometimes get a coffee and sit and eat donuts there. There's old men playing chess and checkers, which I feel like it's a must for a donut shop. But I was going to say Guru is such a great place to actually sit down, hang out. There's always families and stuff in there. It's really fun. It's a fun part, obviously, of town to be in. So Guru is my choice for like when you're going to like actually sit down and like have a morning of it,
I typically, again, going to DK, I do like to hang out there, just for a little bit. But I will also say that often when I'm getting donuts, it's more of like a grab them and go for a little walk kind of thing. That's usually the vibe.
For sure.
Yeah. I can't wait to be, though, a tiny little old lady playing checkers and eating donuts. And that's my day, Like, I'm like, I gotta get down to the donut shop and play chess. And
that sounds great.
Well, anywhere that you will not go, anywhere you don't like, I'll start us out. I'll be the jerk. Krispy Kreme. I do not like a Krispy Kreme donut. I just think they're not. I want a heavy, committed donut. I want a cakey, thick. You know what I mean? Like I want a real donut. Krispy Kremes they're too sweet for me, and they're just like air. There's not really much to them.
Yeah. I don't have a specific place that I wouldn't go to, but a flavor, if anything's jelly filled, I will not eat it. Do not give me a donut that is full of jelly. That is just sick. I can't do it.
What about like the Boston cream?
Yeah.
Like the pudding
God, no. Even worse
really?
too.
Ooh, I love a Boston cream one.
But you have such a sweet tooth. I'm surprised that doesn't do it for you.
No, it just doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay. For my place that I don't love to go to, and we did just shout them out, is I am not a big fan of Guru.
Oh, really?
Again, it's partially a personal preference. I don't like all of the add-ons. I'm not always going for like just the kind of like weirdest, combination of things that you've ever tried or ever heard of, because often to me it's just different forms of sugar on top of different forms of sugar, and so I kind of want just like a good solid base before you try to do anything else. I will say I really love their like really basic chocolate old-fashioned donut or like cake donut kind of thing. I feel like it hits a really nice mix of flavors, but I don't like their raised donuts. They're not for me.
I get that. They are complicated, a lot of them. Like they have a lot going on. I could totally see if you're like from the beginning, you said you like a simple donut. So you're not there for, if we had a Voodoo Donuts here, that would be your least favorite.
For
because
sure.
They're like, with bacon and Reese's Pieces on top. And you're like, I'm burning this place down. So
is Guru Donuts a Voodoo Donuts dupe?
No, I mean Voodoo,
Okay.
Voodoo, like in Portland, and I think Austin has one too. They get real wild with their flavors. They'll be like, this is the Skittle donut with also ham. Not that disgusting, Evelyn. I'm sorry I made you make that face, but but they like to do like really outrageous, kind of interesting things. And in my opinion, Voodoo Donuts, like they do more with like something weird and kind of like the potato ice cream we tried, like where it's like just something to sort of shock you and make you go like, oh, weird, instead of being like Blake said, like a really good baked good. So for sure. All right. Well, thank you both so much for your donut opinions, and I hope you have a fantastic National Donut Day.
You too. I'll see you playing checkers somewhere.
Yeah. Thank you, Emma.
And one more thing before we sign off. Idaho Capital Sun is reporting that Idaho lawmakers are urging Japan to lift a ban preventing the import of U.S.-grown fresh potatoes. Japan is a major importer of frozen potatoes, but maintains a fresh potato ban to protect local farmers and keep pests and diseases out. Our congressional delegation was joined by 31 other members of Congress and the U.S. Department of Agriculture in asking Japanese officials to lift the ban. That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend? Leave us a review and subscribe to our Hey Boise newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more local stories from around the city. Bye.